a new home for a while.
Oh my gosh, what a day. Happy Monday. I'm so excited to have my Instagram account back. Wow. And I was just chatting with the guy just now who helped me get it back. And I was like, yeah, how can we prevent this not happening again? So fingers crossed. Okay, so I did make some notes for today's call. Okay, so we're going to talk about planning a customer appreciation event, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have, like normal, come on video. If you don't want to, mention the questions in the chat. But what I have found from other agents is that they're needing some like inspo, needing some motivation for an event. Some people have never gone to a client appreciation event before, so they don't really know like what to expect and what they need to be doing. And then I have just like a ton of, I love checklists. So I haven't made one in Canva, but I feel like I should. But I just have like a checklist of items that you'll want to take notes on to just make sure that when the time does come that you'll have these items of things that I'm making sure that I don't forget. So as far as customer appreciation events, so I know some who are on the call and people who are going to watch the recording of this we're all on different pages within our business. So I kind of just wanted to address that in the event that you don't have any clients yet and you're like, well, I can't put on a client customer appreciation event. Maybe not, but you can do a networking event. And that is what I did, like right off the get as soon as I got my license. Was I didn't have clients, so I couldn't do a customer appreciation event, but that was not going to hold me back. And I did a networking event. So I was going to kind of share that with you. And also, if you're more seasoned and have been in the business and do have past clients, you can do the customer appreciation events. And in addition, you could do a networking event. So how the networking event went down for me was I had just gotten into the business, didn't have clients, but I wanted to get in front of new people. And it was something so fabulous to market on social media. So it's a lot more than just making that post. It's about the videos. It's about all the marketing ahead of time. So with the networking event, I was, as it led up to the event, I felt like it was a great way to show up in front of people having conversations without being salesy. That I was like, hey, I have this networking event coming up. Like, you should come meet some new people. It's really shocking, and it's incredible that like it's harder to make friends as we're older, right? We're not in school or doing these activities a lot of times, and we're so busy. But it's truly like any other woman that I've talked to, like everyone's like looking for more friends, or even looking for a group. And a lot of people are new to town, or they let go of their old friends, like all these things. So it's not even that they have to have a business. They could just come to like meet people, right? But it was also great to get in front of my friends who had businesses, and it was a way for me to show up and provide value for them, to be like, hey, you should come to this event. There's going to be other business owners there. We could all see how we could help each other's businesses. Oh, where my phone just went off. Oh, it's right here. Or was that someone else's? Oh wait, no, everyone's mute. Okay, it must have been mine. Okay, so it was a great way to show up in front of other people, to invite to the event. Like, you're providing value to them, to be able to introduce them to other people. You always want to be a resource for other people and be the connector to help others with other services that they're needing help with, or helping getting them exposure within their business. So I felt like it was just such a great way to show up in front of others and provide value. And then as kind of a way to fill the room, I feel as though it's really easy to invite realtors, and realtors wanting to come out to the event. And like mortgage lenders are always blowing us up, right? Wanting to do business. Well, when they blow us up, be like, hey, you should come to our event, or do you want to sponsor our event? Inviting mortgage lenders, homeowners insurance companies, title companies, these home inspectors, all these preferred partners for us, it's a great way for us to even provide value for them too. It's like, hey, this is going to be an opportunity for you to meet new people, and there are going to be agents there. So it's like a win-win for everybody. And I feel as though this just builds such credibility when you're the host and you're the connector and you're inviting people. So definitely something to think about. I don't think that you should shy away from when it comes to networking events. But let's dive in more about the customer appreciation event. Unless y'all have questions about the networking event, feel free to come on video or ask in the chat. But as far as the customer appreciation event, I think I have a checklist of items for you that you're going to want to write down, and kind of like a starting point. And that is who is going to help you plan the event. I don't think I've ever planned an event by myself solely. Like, I just feel like that is a lot to do, and we're all busy. And that is just overwhelming. I'm not an event planner. I'm a real estate agent. So I think it's been really beneficial for me to be able to partner up with other people so that I had help with the event and not just relying on myself. Trust me, I would not want to be planning and getting ready and all the things by myself. So who can you collab with? You know, it could essentially be, just to give you some inspo, like I've done networking events and customer appreciation events with other realtors. I have partnered up with my preferred partners, those title companies. They usually have like a marketing person within their company, right? So this person is usually hired to do the marketing for them, but also like recruiting and trying to get more business. So they might be more than open to partnering up with you and collaborating. So other like preferred partners, or maybe you have a friend who is in a completely different industry and you want to partner up with her to put on the event. So just started thinking, and even think outside the box of like, who the heck can help you? I had someone help me with my Galentine's event, an actual event planner. So if you're having a hard time finding resources on someone to help you, then maybe look into actually hiring a professional. And that was like just so unbelievably helpful. You want to think about the venue, and this is something that you want to look far. I don't want to say too far, but you really need to look like a month plus out, getting it booked. So that would be like my number one task to make sure that I got done. And really think about, okay, well, what do I even want the event to be? So I need to figure that out before I'm like looking into venues, right? So I really like doing activities versus like a happy hour. Because then it's just like, oh, people standing around. Like, I want us to be busy and doing something. So that's what I would really focus on, is an activity. At the Galentine's event, it was really cool. It was like, okay, you sign in, and then there was the food area, food and drinks, right? We had a bartender also, so she was handling the drinks. And then there was like, one of the rooms had a boutique set up. So one of the local boutiques came, they brought like 2 racks of clothes. So, and this was like an all women's thing. So, you know, the women, of course, they like loved going over the clothes. That was a second thing for them to do. And then I had a photographer. So I had like all these backdrops. And I had the photographer just taking like candid photos of everybody. But in addition, we had a backdrop. So you could just have one backdrop set up. So then it was like one other thing for them to do. So really being creative to keep people busy with something. Past events, like I said, I did the Galentine's. Christmas photos is one that I haven't done, and it's one that I want to do this year. So you could book a client appreciation event at, you know, whatever venue you want, but offer to have a photographer there that is going to take their family photos. So you'll need to book this, you know, far in advance for the photos to get back in, so you can get them over to the client and for them to be able to order their Christmas card in time, right? So I haven't done this before, but I'm really excited about it. I feel like these photographers nowadays are ridiculously expensive. So I feel like to be able to take that cost off of a family, like, hey, come to this event, let me take care of your Christmas photo for you. I think it's a really nice touch. And even like with your friends there, to be able to like get photos with them, I think is really, really cool. And then you could also, so that's an activity, right? Something for them to do, something that they could bring the family to. So maybe think of maybe a couple other ideas like food, drinks, maybe something for the kids to do. So I'm really excited about that. I love dogs. So we did an event at this place called Canine Social that you could bring your dogs. They have beer there. I don't think they have food, but yeah, we got it catered in. We did like giveaways and stuff. We had a backdrop. We did photos. So I felt like it was very on brand as like being a dog mom and always talking about dogs. So I think of like your interests as well in this. I love when I haven't done this, but I've seen agents do pumpkin patch photos where they hire the photographer to go out to the pumpkin patch, and that's free, doesn't cost anything, right? And they can come, bring their family, get a professional photo at the pumpkin patch, and then the kids are out there picking pumpkins, or even couples do it, right? So they don't even have to have kids to want to do that. So I feel like that is just such a cool, fun, inexpensive idea. I should probably do that as well. Okay, and then the Thanksgiving pies. I've never done this before, but people in my office have done it where they set up outside of the office. So I feel like it's a little less intimidating that the clients don't have to come into the real estate office. I feel like that does not sound exciting at all. I feel like they want to like get the pie and go, right? So they set up outside of the office and they had bought pies from a place, had a couple different options. They mailed the past clients ahead of time, and they were like, hey, this is what we're doing this day and time. Which type of pie would you like? Come pick it up between this window. And that's a great way to provide something for a past client and to also get in front of them, say, hi, how are you doing? Get face to face again. I think it's a really cool idea. And from what I've heard from other real estate agents, that they've gotten a really good turnout with this. I did a customer appreciation event at a model home. So that didn't cost me anything. I just reached out to the site agents. It was someone that I was friends with, and it was really cool because it was a place that was on a 14-acre crystal lagoon. So I felt like that's very different. And it was great because people love looking at model homes and the staging and the decor. So like they were touring the model home, looking through the home, and then they got to see out back the 14-acre crystal lagoon and like the sand that was around it. They got to walk around. I had a professional photographer then too, and the food and the drinks and the giveaways. And that was a really good turnout. So just think about like unique places that are in your area that involve, a lot more than just standing around and talking. Like, yeah, you're going to be doing that, but it's nice to have an activity. So figuring out what the heck you want to do, try to give you guys as many inspo ideas, and then pick out the venue, book the venue ahead of time, and then several things to think about for your checklist is to figure out where you're going to get food and drinks from. I would get quotes from a couple different places. It's crazy how much like quotes with food and drinks can really range. So figuring out the food and drinks, who can cater, are they going to be able to deliver it? Do we have to go pick it up? Is there going to be someone there? There's places where they will come and like deliver it, but also set it all up. And if they're not, well, then we need a designated person that's going to handle this, like who's going to pick it up, who's going to set it up type thing, and all of the paperware for the food. I love having checklists, and it's like, I don't want to forget one little thing. So even though silverware is like so simple, it's like, no, put it on your list because you're going to have so much going on at this time. It could be something really simple to forget. And then it kind of turns into a big deal when you have all this food and you have no silverware. I think swag bags are super fun. I feel like when I've gone to past events, I've gotten like really excited about swag bags, and like it could be something that you could talk about ahead of time where you're like you want to showcase the behind the scenes of all of this. Like this is all free content for you. Whether or not somebody shows up or not, you want to have them see all of this. So as far as the swag bags, get people excited about it. And if you don't have a huge budget, that's totally fine. Maybe just do the first 10 people who come. So it kind of expresses the urgency to go, to get there early. And then it kind of cuts down your budget where he has, you're just going to do 10 or 20 or whatever that might look like for you. So that could be a good idea. And then you could also, in order to fill the swag bag, we're going to talk about the cost. I have that on here somewhere, but you could reach out to your friends who have businesses and see if they're willing to put in their product, or if they have a service. Maybe they could just create something cute in Canva, that like a voucher type thing that someone could turn in and utilize their service, or a coupon of some sort. But I think really partnering up with other people will be beneficial to help fill up the swag bag so that it helps with your expense. And then if, let's say, you don't have any friends, and you can post it on social media, the people who are following you, and say like, hey, I want to help you in your business. I want to give you exposure in front of my audience. Is there an item that you would want to put into this swag bag? And, also saying like, you're welcome to come to the event. It's a great way to get in front of them as well. So swag bags, super fun. Definitely get some kind of way to get RSVPs so that you have an idea of how many people are coming. So ones that I've utilized in the past is Eventbrite. Has been very user friendly. And if you are not charging a fee for your event, which I don't think I've ever charged a fee, because it's like for the client, right? Like this is a day for them. I don't think I've ever charged. So it's free to use Eventbrite. If you're charging, then I believe Eventbrite takes like a really good chunk of it. So maybe there's like some other avenues that you would want to look into. I've never looked into it, but I do believe that they take a fee. But Eventbrite is free. Or some type of landing page that you could create and then a forms page where you're gathering all the data. I thought maybe that would be a good inexpensive option, but I've only ever used Eventbrite. Another thing to think about is, are you going to need decor items? My last event, I bought like, but now I'll be able to utilize them on future events, but like chalkboards and stuff to write like, welcome to the Galentine's thing, or directional signs and little signs to talk about like the food items, or if someone has like their product, like making sure that they have a sign, but like little decor items. For the last one, I mean, we got a ton of stuff to just put on the walls for the Galentine's event. So decor, think about decor items. Some kind of check-in system. Do you need somebody that's going to be checking somebody in? Because we need to make sure that we have them available for your event. You might think like, oh, I can do it, but you want to focus on talking to people and having like real conversations. If you're talking to the person you're checking in, well, now you got to move on to the next person kind of quickly. So I think having a designated person is helpful. Maybe if you want to have some kind of sign in you could have like their phone number, their email, try to grab some information from them. In the past, we have used name tags. So having that set up at your area, a little name tag section for them to fill that out. We didn't do this last time, but we had thought about it. But it was going to be too many people and the cost was going to be too much. So if you were doing something smaller, I think it'd be cute to have like some type of name tag already made, or we were going to do like keychains or something and have everyone's name on it, but the cost was a lot. So I think if you had a small amount of people, that could be really cute to be able to give out. Are you going to be mailing invites? This is what we did for the Galentine's, and I think it added just such a sweet extra touch. So we got these big gold envelopes. I bought a template off of Etsy for like $5. They had a ton of there's so many themes on Etsy. So whatever type of your event you're doing, I would search that. But for the Galentine's, there was a ton of Galentine's templates that I was able to customize. I printed them out at home. I got like extra thick paper, but you could print them out at Office Depot on the thick paper. And I got the big gold envelopes and I sent them out. I was like, this is different. I'm not getting invites through the mail anymore. And I think I had McCall write a little note on it, like, I hope to see you there, Stevie. And I felt like that added such a sweet touch. And then so many people shared it on their Instagram stories and tagging me about it. Like they were excited about it. They got this gold envelope in the mail. So it's like, we're going to do that for the Christmas event. We're going to send everybody something in the mail ahead of time. So that is an additional cost. So you got to factor in the paper, the ink, envelopes, stamps needs to be a part of your budget. So a couple other things, cute welcome signs, any kind of backdrops that you want to have, always have photo spots. You want people to take photos at your event so that they will share it and they will tag you so that it's on all over their social media platforms and yours, just to make it look like the event was, super fun. But then you're going to get these professional photos back. And I feel like it's just another way to show up in front of them. A couple weeks later, you get the photos back, right? And you're able to have another conversation with them. Thank you so much for coming. Here are your photos. That's why you want to make sure you have everyone's email address. It's another, if you haven't built up an email database yet, this is a great way to get emails. They're like, I need emails to be able to send you these professional photos. And people love that so much. And then you're able to, another content feature is now you get to add all those professional photos to your social media of your event. And then I've even used those photos for future events. The Galentine's was the first time that we did it, but in the future, now I'm going to be able to use those photos for next year because we want to keep doing it and I can use those photos again. So there's just so many purposes and really, really worth it. So make sure you're writing down professional photographer and reach out on a lot of quotes. I was getting 1,000 plus, like the cost for 3 hours. And I had some that were like $2,000 and I was like, yeah, I just can't spend that much for a photographer in addition to all these other things I'm having to pay. But I ended up finding someone, I think for like 500 and the photos were great. So if you're really balling on a budget, you could just have a friend out there taking photos. So I think just getting the photos is what matters. Make sure that you're time blocking to create content, create the posts, create the videos, talking about it, the behind the scenes, going to the venue, showcasing to your audience where the venue is going to be, being really excited about it, the items that are in your swag bag, the other people that are going to be there. So get the event sponsored. I don't think I've ever paid $1 for any event. And I have gotten them sponsored. So once I have laid out these checklist items and I figured out how much all these items were going to cost, I ended up presenting which I might have the template still. I presented this template to people that I give business to, the title companies that handles all my closings, the mortgage lenders that I'm always using, or someone who's wanting me to use them. Who else? The homeowners insurance company, home inspection companies, I feel like those are the easiest to get sponsored, people who are in our industry, but you can also think outside the box. Some friends that you have that would like some additional exposure. And we had created this template in Canva going over different tier options of what they could choose, like what for different prices of what they want to sponsor for the event. And then underneath each tier, it listed like, what did this include as far as like the marketing aspect of it. I'll see if I can find that template and I'll post it in our Facebook group because I feel like it was something that McCall had made and it was really cool. I'm gonna look at my Canva really fast. See if I can, sometimes I can just search things and see Valentine's event. If not, I'm sure it's here somewhere. I have so many. Oh, did I find it? Oh, this was a photo of the card. Okay, I don't have it here. But oh yeah, also on the card, let's see if I can share my screen. I just feel like this was super neat. I think you guys can see this, right? Right here, join the girls for the Galentine soiree, and we had a QR code, and look, my logo's in the middle of it. I thought that was so neat. So all they had to do was take a photo of this, and then it automatically went to Eventbrite. So it uploaded Eventbrite, and they were able to RSVP right there. So I feel like it was super techy and kind of fun. As far as getting the QR code, I have no idea, but if anyone needs to know, I can definitely ask McCall. So yeah, we had created something in Canva, I'll have to look for it, and had the different tier options on different prices. And I presented it to whoever it was that I wanting to sponsor it. And I made a video that I sent to, it was the same video that I sent to everybody. And I was like, hey, hope you're doing well. I'm hosting this event. I told them all about the event, what was happening. I talked about the professional photographer, the food, the boutique that was going to be coming, the professional photos. And I was like, I would love for you to be a part of it. This is how it would provide value to you in your business. And then I included the tier thing that we had created in Canva. And I was just like, let me know if you have any questions, let me know. So I sent this really nice email. I showed them the invites, told them I was going to be mailing them out with gold envelopes. Like, people are asking other people to sponsor, and they're just like, hey, I need X amount for this event that I'm doing, right? Nobody's presenting like this beautiful tier option. Other realtors anyways, I think, aren't presenting this and aren't creating like a really nice video for them and a detailed email as well as what all is included and what is going on with the event. So I feel like it's a really great way to stand out and provide value to them and to get them excited. So I've never had, even before creating all these other fancy things, I've never had an issue getting someone to sponsor to help us with this cost of this event. And I mean, it really adds up quickly. It could essentially very easily be a couple $1,000s. So I think it's really helped to get sponsors and to get people to help with the cost of it, especially because they are people who are helping you within your business. So even when new vendors reach out to me, and let's say I don't even have an event going on, like right now, if someone was to call me and they were like, hey, I really want to work with you, it's a mortgage lender, I feel like I get the most calls from them. And I always ask too, I'm like, well, do you have leads that you could send me? That would be a good like starting point for us, for me to see how we work together. And if they say like they don't have any leads right now, then I'm like, okay, well, would you be interested in a future event, me reaching out to you to sponsor? Because that would really help me out in my business. Or if I have one going on at the time, I could be like, hey, can I send you more information? And then two, I have realtors come to that. It's really easy to fill the room with realtors, and it does provide value to the other people who have sponsored the event. So don't eliminate realtors, I think, from your event. Sometimes I think there is value with that. Okay, almost done, but let's see. Balloons was another thing that I wanted to mention. Those are actually really expensive, but it seems like they're super popular now. The ones with the arches, like people come in creating those, like they look so cute. They're a great photo option. So definitely add that to your checklist as well. But this is where the gold is the content creation that comes up to the event, because there is just such credibility of someone hosting an event like this. And reaching, so let's say someone RSVPs, if you make a Facebook event, right? Or an Eventbrite, sometimes like I am saying going just to like show support to my friend, but I'm not really going, right? And I do this all the time. But this is where someone got me once and I was like, that is so good. And I'm always going to do this. So I had said I was going to someone's event, had no idea what it was really, just said I was going. And the girl had followed up with me the day before the event and was like, hey, Stevie, how are you doing? I'm so excited for you to come to my event. And then I was like, oh shit, like she's really expecting me to come. Like, oh wow, it's just like, oh, they put a mass post out there. You're not thinking like it's directed towards you. And I'm usually saying going to like show support. So I felt a little obligated. I was like, oh, okay. I feel like I should go to this. She's kind of expecting me and I should show support, right? I completely forgotten about it. So I thought that was so freaking good that I was like, I'm going to do this every time I have an event. So it's like you're promoting this usually a couple weeks out. People need to know about this ahead of time. They got to get in their calendar. Everyone's so busy, but then they forget about the event or they feel like the hype's over. Maybe they're not seeing your posts of you talking about it. So I'm following up the day before. And I've even followed up like in addition, the day of. I sent them a Facebook message, Instagram message, LinkedIn message, a text message. I called, I emailed, like however you normally would communicate with this person, I am following up with them to make sure that they know that I see them, that I want them to come, that I'm excited about it and excited about the event too. So I feel like it really helps with the number of people showing up to the event as well, because that's so good. After she did that to me, I was like, oh my gosh, that is genius. And I'm always going to do that. Then it's really, let's say the person doesn't show up, like that's fine. You got to build such credibility in front of them while you were preparing and doing the behind the scenes. You might not think so, but it really does build credibility in someone's mind if you do it right and you're doing these things and you're showcasing it. But let's say that they don't come, but you were now able to have a new conversation with them. You were able to see how they were doing. You were able to touch base and you were able to like provide something for them, to invite them to this event, this thing that you're putting so much time, effort, and passion into. And it's a way for you to show up essentially in a non-salesy way. So I like, if someone doesn't show up, I'm not like, oh, that was a loss. Like, no, that was a win. They got to see all my stuff and I got to have another conversation with them. And then they're going to see all the posts, all the tags, and it's going to want them to show up for the next event that you do. And then also make sure that after the event, you're following up with people again. That you are like, hey, thank you so much for coming out to the event. It was so much fun. It was great to see you. When I get the professional photos come in, I'll email them to you. Like this is a relationship business, right? So I feel like doing all of these things is how you can have an epic customer appreciation event that's just going to help you build more of a relationship with people. And I love it too, because it gets me in a room with all these people at once. Like it's very time consuming to schedule that coffee date or that happy hour or that dinner with them. Whereas this now gets everybody in the same place at one time. So there's just so many benefits of the customer appreciation event. And I feel like everybody should be doing it. I'm trying to think. I have honestly always had such a good turnout with events, but it is still always a concern of mine every single time that I'm like, is anyone going to show up to this? But I think that if you do all these things and you're excited about it and you're sharing the process and you're doing something that's like on brand for you, like maybe these things don't resonate with you, like with the photos. Like I think everybody would expect me to have a professional photographer at anything if I was doing any kind of event. Or, something with, like I said, with dogs or the boutique, like the boutique that I had, I'm always there and I'm always tagging them when I'm there. I've talked about them multiple times. So it just seemed very relevant for them to be at the event. It made sense, right? So don't think like, oh, I have to have a boutique if that's something that you're not really into. Think of things that you're into, companies that you love that are local to you that you are always using and always talking about, and supporting other local businesses and your friends. I think it's a great way to show up for them as well. So, another thing is, I'm not sure if I mentioned this or not, but when at the events and whatnot, I like to always have like a little I forget what they're called, where I get to plug in the letters into the board, and I'll be like, tag me at Sold by Stevie. And it's like it puts a little trigger in people's mind, and it's like they start taking more photos. Like they see it, they're taking photos with the sign, like reminding them, no, I want you to take photos and I want you to tag me. And it's just going to help you out with attracting other local people. So I hope that video was super helpful. I'm going to hop off if we don't have any questions, but I will. Yes,
I do.
Please. Please
So
ask.
I have 2 questions. First one, on average, how many people do you invite? Or do you have, or it just depends on the event?
Well, some venue spaces have a limit. So I think it kind of just depends what type of event you're wanting to do. So like for the photos, I'm going to want a huge space and I want to invite everybody, even if they're just like another realtor or another business owner. So I really think like trying to get as many people in a room as possible is what you should do. But like the Galentine's event, the place I could have a max of 75 people. So I think just depending on what it is that you want to do.
Okay. And then my other question is on the sponsorship. I know you mentioned the tiers.
Yeah.
So how does that work? So if they sign up for a tier, let's say to give $1,000, let's just throw that number. Do they then give that to you cash? Do you provide a receipt?
Oh,
or
really,
how does
really
that
good
work?
question. So I have an account with PayPal, a business account. So I'm able, and I don't think that this costs, PayPal doesn't charge me any money for having a PayPal account. So this is free, but within the account, you can send someone an invoice. I don't even know if it's a business account. I think you can send an invoice to anybody, and you send it to their email, and it looks really professional in my eye. Like you get to add your logo, your contact information. You can list out like their contact information. You can list out what it is that they're buying along with a description. And I email it over to them, and then they pay it with whatever card that they want. And then it gets put into my PayPal account. That seemed to be the easiest for me. Oh, as far as number of people, also keep in mind, there was an event that I did, and it was a women's networking lunch, and it was 50 people, and that was overwhelming because I wasn't able to talk to everybody. And there were people there that, came and left and didn't even get to say hi to me. So there wasn't a lot going on too. Like it was just a lunch. I did do like a speech. We did have giveaways, but I think if you're really wanting to be able to talk to people, I was thinking like, okay, I'm going to have to cut it off at like 40 people. But the Galentine, and that was also people all at one time because it was lunch, right? With the Galentines, it was, we had 75 people, and it was open for 3 hours. And so I was able to talk to a lot of people, and I felt like that's definitely something to think about. I felt very overwhelmed with the 50 at one time. We had like a little networking ahead of time. So it was like chit chat, got to talk then, did the speech. Everyone was eating. I was able to like walk around and talk to everyone while they were eating. Like I never got to eat. We talked a little after, but there were still people that I didn't get a chance to talk to. So. Okay, Michelle, you had a question?
I do. And you just started kind of addressing it.
Yeah.
What kind of programming schedule or whatever do you do? I guess specifically, I'm wondering about like a customer appreciation event. I know you have the activities, but do you, for lack of a much better word, do you do any sort of like sales pitch for yourself? Obviously, we wouldn't address it like that, but
yeah. I think that there's really no need to do any kind of sales pitch because it's really just you trying to get in front of them, build that relationship, provide value. Because a lot of times, like with past clients, it's like that communication stops after 30 days, right? Like you're not having to talk to them every single day. And especially if it's not a close friend of yours, like I'm hardly talking to anybody, right? So that's why you're always having to continuously mail them. And a lot of my mailers to them are not, do you want to sell your house, right? It's like that football schedule that I send with my contact information all over it. It's an item of value to where you're able to show up and provide something for them for free and kind of making sure that they don't forget about you. And it's the same thing with the event. It's like, it's fine if they don't come, but they saw, because everyone's on my social media. So they saw my social media, they got the little card in the, or actually it was a big card in the mail inviting them. And I was able to have another conversation with them. And people are always asking too, like, hey, they're always asking about how's real estate? How are things going with you? And I think that it shows that you're doing really well when you're hosting events. I think it truly builds such credibility. So I hope that answers your question, but I'm definitely not doing any type of sales, not even trying to talk about it. But if you guys are doing a customer appreciation event, I would love to hear all about it, because I'm sure we each would do it differently, right? Like different types of events. And it'd be cool to hear about it.
Are you doing one a year or do you do multiple?
One a quarter.
One a quarter. Oh, okay. So that was one of my questions. And I believe we logged off really, really quickly. So I was like, I forgot to hit unmute at the last Zoom call for business planning.
Yes.
What are some, I guess, examples of action items that you can do for example, like you did your, I'm sorry, my dog is right next to me.
I love dogs.
For example, the client event, you're doing that quarterly, and then your mailers, do you do that quarterly as well or monthly?
So as far as the mailers, I don't know if I have it in front of me, but we are pretty much, our plan is we have something going out every month.
Okay.
Or I want to say it's like every 2 months. Okay. So it's been something different, like January, the homestead exemption. February was setting out the Galentine's invites. It's like something different every month. And some of the months are market updates, but the other months, like most of the months, I think we're only setting market updates like 3 times out of the year. And the rest are just like trying to send out like items of value, something non-salesy. But of course it has my information all over it. It gets them thinking about me again. But yeah, we have something going out almost every month.
Do you have any other actionable steps other than
mailers,
like, or just in general, I guess marketing wise?
I guess it depends. What type of marketing are you wanting to do?
Well, as of right now, it's really just social media, but I would like to do one event this year.
Yeah.
And then I do mailers, or not mailers, but we call it the golden letter.
Oh, okay.
I send that biannually. So I send at the beginning of the year, and then I'll probably send one a little closer to fall.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much all I've been doing.
Yeah. I think, you know, I have a market update template that I could share with you. And I feel like it's simple, but it, you know, talks about the real estate market, and the numbers have just gone up here so much, and I'm sure they have by you as well. So I think it's interesting for people to see. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but it also has, I have a resume template as well. I'll share the link with you. Where is the link? Template link. Okay. So this is actually what I'm going to post right now in the chat is a resume template that I have been putting in my listing packet. And I also sent it out to people at one point. And this shows like, founder of the Stevie Hahn team, top 1% in Jacksonville, top sales in Keller Williams, 5-star reviews on Zillow, and it has like an information for you to plug in stats for your market. So I feel like this is probably like the most salesy thing that I've ever sent, is like about myself and the market, and ways to connect with me. So that could be something that you could send 1 month, any awards that you've won, or maybe an article that you were featured in. Let's see what else I can find for you guys. Okay, we sent this one this month, and it's a postcard, which I really like because it's a little less expensive. And we take the postcard, we create it in Canva, right? And then we are using CoreFact. So we upload the template into CoreFact. Now, CoreFact does several things, but you can upload your own template in there. You can upload your own contacts in there, or if you wanted to like market a specific neighborhood or zip code or something, you could do that. But we upload our contacts into it. It automatically sends it to them. So we're not having to do it. The postage for postcards are a little bit less expensive than regular stamps. And it plugs a QR code on there so that they can scan the QR code. It'll plug in their information and show me that, hey, they are interested in getting this free home evaluation. So that is that template. And I just like how they look. Like, I feel like they're light and bright, and I'm going through my Canva templates right now to see if there's anything else I can send you guys. I don't know. I don't see anything, but yeah. So we sent a Christmas card in December. I'm sure in November or October, we'll be sending an invite to everybody for that. And then August is the JAG calendar. I'm not sure what we're doing in July. We have this all written down on the business plan, how I have like the January, February, March. We have them all plugged in there. And then June is this Hello Summer Canva thing that I just sent you guys. So it's a little something every month. And I don't think it has to be like lengthy. I don't think it has to be a lot. It's just a way to be a reminder in hopefully a non-salesy way. Right? Was that helpful?
Yeah, it was.
And I'm like always sharing like the whole thing on Instagram. Like, I'm like, hey, I'm sending out to my past clients. They're going to get this letter from me so they can kind of expect it. And then, like I said, a lot of times they end up tagging me in things. It's so great. I'm like always so happy. I'm like, yes, please tell your friends. So I think there's a way to do mailers right. And I think if you're doing them very, very sporadically, you're not going to see that return. That you genuinely do have to be really consistent with it. But if you're just starting, I mean, I always started small. I was just sending my Christmas card to start and didn't know what the heck else to send. So hopefully this gives you some direction on a couple of things. And were you able to grab the links in the chat? Okay, because I think they might disappear after I click off. Okay, awesome. What are we chatting about next week? Does anyone know? I don't have it in front of me. Oh, the weekly email. So especially after losing my Instagram account, I am beyond grateful that I have thousands of email addresses, and I was crazy about getting them. Every week I ask my Instagram story, my weekly emails going out, who wants to add their email address. And I'm always so shocked that I get new email addresses every week. Like, I would think like, God, this is overplayed, but I still get new email addresses every day. And during the last 3 weeks, I was like, how are people going to get a hold of me for the past 3 weeks? People got a hold of me. They called me, they emailed me. I got messages on my Facebook business page, which I normally didn't. So people were still getting a hold of me, but I'm really glad. I was getting a lot of realtor referrals through email. So I'm very glad that I had built that up. So I'm very passionate about talking about it next week. Michelle knows. All right, cool. Well, y'all have a great rest of your day, and I will chat with you next Monday. Bye.